Thanks for staying with us. Today, we're discussing something very, very difficult. A tragic accident occurred on Tuesday in Ibadan, your state capital, where a bullet, stray bullet, allegedly fired by a police officer pursuing a suspect, fatally hit a student en route to the West African Senior School certificate examination. Actually on the way to that center to do his exam. The student who was riding with his father and his twin brother was struck on the Gbagi Market Road in Egbeda local government area, according to eyewitnesses. The victim was headed to sit for the examination being conducted by WAEC. Now, this is one incident too many, and it's quite heartbreaking that several factors led to the death of this child. And ladies of your view, today we usually not have 5 on set, but today we are 5, and I think it was a divine arrangement such that an opportunity for us to lend our voice to these kinds of stories, because a 14-year-old child, I believe that's his age, died in the presence of everybody. And I feel like we have failed that child.
Yeah.
Seeing that child in a school uniform, doing what he's supposed to be doing, and here we are, adults, all around the child till he bled to death. This is a conversation that is necessary to have because, as I said, there are different layers. Please join the conversation. Please join the conversation by calling us 020-1635-2013, 090-2416-344. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. We'll be happy to read your messages. Nima, let me let you start with this. When you saw this video, what came to mind?
Anger. I was so angry. And I saw it last night. The video had started trending in the morning, and it was supposed to be that a trigger-happy police officer shot at a vehicle. So I was, of course, angry with the police, the system. I hated the fact that Nigerians were writing, Nigeria has happened to the boy. And then the police now sent out their own accounts of things and tagged and showed a much more fuller video of a driver trying to escape being stopped at a police point.
Resisting arrest.
Resisting arrest. Not just resisting arrest, but every attempt to stop that car, he resisted it. And then at the end of it, a young child was at the back seat of that car who was now affected. And my husband and myself yesterday, when I was like, this man just killed his son. My husband's first reaction was, don't you dare say that it's the police who shouldn't have shot in a traffic situation. And I'm like, I'm a lawyer. I can just imagine the police account of things with this video in a court. No, there will be no sentencing for the police officer. If you suspect a crime, you can arrest the person. And whatever means you do at the point when you're suspecting that crime, is considered a defense to prevent that crime. So the police will now get away with it. Imagine them trying to shoot at his tires and then they claim that they shot at the car because, of course, the officer was not able to focus and stop the car. They will get away with it. You can't resist arrest to that extent, and the police at the point will not suspect a bigger crime. Kidnapping happens every day. They will think you're trying to even escape a bigger crime, like you just committed murder. Any other reason would have warranted that. The car was a bit tinted. There's no way. And so, for me, in the entire face of it, I'm just looking out for the mom of that boy, because she might be at home thinking, I've just handed him to his dad. He will act like an adult and get his son safely to an exam center. I imagine, for a traffic offense, what's the worst that can happen? 50,000 naira fine. Or they even impound your car. You walk home with your 2 legs. Hey. What's the worst that can happen? My driver did the same thing to me. And the police used the bike. The police at Orili, they used a bike with their gun wielding and blocked my car at the Igomu Bridge. And I felt like I drove myself for 10 years. No police used Okada pursue me with gun. They are driving me. Because when they stop my driver, his first reaction is, park in the middle of the road. I always say, lay by, park well. Because the people at the back, they did not offend us. We don't have to back up traffic. That's one. I'm teaching him every time. But then I say this fear, it's out of fear. Oh, it's another police. I say, uncle, I don't know the life you lived before you started driving, but you see me, see my hands, all the way to my armpit is clean. Park, let us have a conversation with these people. What's that can happen?
Let me get the other ladies.
See the reaction. Whatever justification of apprehension he had, he overdid it.
Yeah. Let me come to another one's coming.
Yes,
here.
for me as well, when I first heard it, I immediately blamed the police, because the first news that went out was that they were on a chase, and a stray bullet caught this little boy on his way to the exams. And I was just angry. Once again, police has taken a young man's life, or a child that's growing up. Like, you know, when will this end? Then to hear this version of the story, and to also watch the video of how much the father was like. I know sometimes, you know, we see cars slow down and then take off, but there's no police trying to stop you. But this one, they had cars trying to stop him on every corner, and he was trying to escape. Honestly, even I was thinking, I said, oh, were these the Yahoo boys that they were pursuing? Like, just watching the video, I thought, no, this must be the criminals in the car, because the way he was insistent on trying to maneuver this and swerve away from this police. Now, a little boy was killed. And everything Nima has said, you know, the same emotions. But beyond that, Morayo, while all the screaming and shouting was happening, nobody thought, take this child and take him to the hospital. Nobody, everybody was screaming and shouting. Nobody was looking at that boy and rushing him to the hospital. No first aid, nothing. Everybody was screaming. Police was there. What's the other? Lasma was there. Nobody. The father was there. Nobody thought, let's see what we can do right now. We have failed ourselves in so many ways. The police is to blame, the father is to blame, and just Nigerians, passers-by, sometimes too were to blame. Nobody knows or understands first aid in a situation like that. So for me, that was even what compounded the sadness for me. I was angry first at how careless the police were, and also the father, but just the last hours of that child really broke my heart.
You see, when we talk about education, we think it is by going to school. We think that, oh, if we say we're not educated, it's because we did not go to school. There are things, I feel here is a case of lack of proper education for many people to know how to deal with emergencies. We also do not have awareness on how to manage crisis. When faced with crisis, if somebody faints, what would you do? If there is bleeding, how would you stop it? What's the next line of action? Response to emergency. Emergency response in Nigeria is so poor. We lose too many people. Avoidable death. This is another sad story of avoidable death. Someone, a very young boy, in an avoidable situation that we have lost right now. But what lessons have we learned? Because this is not the first time this is happening. We've had cases of shots being fired. We've had people that stray bullet hit. We've discussed on this table how people, when emergencies happen, what is the next line of action? If you find a boy with bullets wound, what do? Stem the blood, rush to the hospital. We are not, maybe we need, in having those conversations is to help us so that we are able to respond appropriately. The conversation also is very heartbreaking, because here is a father who probably has other issues he had not managed, which is influencing what he's doing or what he did. I have had to have conversations with my husband while we're driving, because maybe when a police stops us or somebody just arbitrarily just stop you, you just get angry. It's like, don't get angry. These guys have a right. Because if you approach with anger, you are not able to rationally deal with the situation. Yes, you might have your reasons to distrust the police, but your reaction might have adverse effects. This man's reaction, maybe he's feeling like, I'm rushing my son to write his exams. People just want to disturb me. I beg, I'll deal with you later. And he escapes and escapes and escapes. And at the point of escaping, here is a boy lost. The life of that boy is lost. There are little things. We've seen anger management. Somebody just stands up and punch another person. The person dies. You're wondering, is the anger, ability to control your own anger. There are many things that if we don't, a stitch in time saves 9. This is a life that could have been saved if we had a stitch in time. We've spoken about rubber bullets. We've spoken about ways of de-escalating crisis for our security officials. How could you de-escalate things without resorting to shooting a live bullet? We've had those conversations. How do we deal with medical issues? We've had those conversations. But when we just discuss it like this, talk shop, but we are not properly changing the orientation of Nigerians, educating us to know how to deal with the situation well, we might end up having this happen in a few months' time, and we'll not be like, and we said it that time too. So what did they now do? They didn't do the right thing.
Okay, we'll look at the layers. Just to correct us earlier, we said that last month, actually, your state traffic management authorities. So it wasn't last month. It was
That happened in Ibadan. I am upset beyond words because this could have been avoided
Completely.
if we have paid attention to training our police in such a way that they handle issues correctly on the streets. They have no business going with live ammunition on the streets where civilians are working, because anything can happen. Like Tope rightly mentioned, what happened to rubber bullets if you have to shoot? What happened to tear gas if you have to use something? We have begged them to say many people can be crazy and want to avoid you and want to dodge their responsibility. What happened to taking the plate number and tracing those people back? There was a day I just sat in my house and I saw a text message that came that had violated a traffic offense. They were able to get my plate number, and then I saw an amount I was supposed to pay. I generally went and I paid it. I didn't even know where I had that infraction. But what happened to using technology to solve some of these issues so that innocent people will not be caught in the crosshairs? What happened to that? We can't keep saying one thing over and over again, and our police keeps repeating the same mistake. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It seems like the system is not paying attention on how they can revamp themselves and learn. This is 2025. We cannot have stray bullets kill somebody, whether even the person is a criminal. Till the court says you are a criminal, you are not a criminal. That's what our law says. So even if the person had a gun in his car and he was running, he was a criminal, you have not taken him to the court of law to judge him. So you cannot kill him. Just like that. This is a democracy. We can't keep having this issue over and over again. The parents, that man, as far as I'm concerned, is a madman. And God will judge him, because I don't know how he's going to look at his wife and explain what happened. How do you have children in your car and you are dodging police like are you a thief? You are dodging police like you carried something in your, like there's an exhibit in your car. You have kids who are writing exams. What happens to parking your car, attending to, you can't beg them, okay, sorry, I didn't know it was wrong, or whatever it is, but these are children. Those police people are not mad. These are children. They are going to write exam. I can leave my car here, can I use bike and take them to their hall and come back? Let's sort this. What happened to that? You have children in your car. Your parental brain is not working, that your first responsibility is to protect your children. You see police people carrying gun up and down, chasing you. When I saw that, like Miriam rightly said, I felt it was the Yahoo boy that they were chasing. Only for me to realize that he's the father.
So can we put in perspective that this was not a stray bullet?
It wasn't a stray bullet. It wasn't.
This was a target shot.
Well, he missed the target. That's another issue.
They were shooting at him.
They were shooting
at
the
vehicle.
Was shooting at the tire.
For what?
Listen, they're trying to demobilize. The police. Wait.
For what?
Wait, calm down. There is a police that sees.
And you want to use a gun?
Let me put it in context, please. There's a police officer that is seeing a car that is tinted. I can't see what's inside.
Okay.
I don't know if you are drug dealers. I don't know if you are doing anything. I don't know if you even kidnapped children. I have no clue. It's tinted, and I'm trying to stop you. And you're resisting it.
Okay.
You keep resisting. You even knock down something. You see the video.
Was
that a human being?
You need to put this also. First of all, he was coming on the wrong side of the
one way. That was the probable cause.
Yes.
You were on the one way. I hit something. Was it a human being? That wasn't sure. He hit something on the curb.
The police was stationed. They were positioned waiting for anybody to approach from that wrong way. That one way happens on the Abeokuta road. That Kola bus stop. They do it. So you want to jump. The traffic instead of going to use the U-turn at Abulegba, police will wait for you. So they were waiting. And as soon as his car faced the one way, they blocked him. What did he do? He reverses and faces every other blockade on the way, including other police vehicles, other civilian vehicles. He could have killed other people with his car. He scrapes his car off the, what's it called, on the block of the
pavement.
removes the entire bumper, fender,
Yeah,
his
Yeah.
bumper fell,
And
yeah.
continue.
continues. So they started to chase him. Now, a police officer telling a court
child
under
was
trial
in that
that
car
I
also.
thought he was a criminal.
And he had reason
He
to
will
believe.
just be going home to his family. That's the thing.
Because in trying to shoot the tire also,
To
and because
demobilize
that
him,
child obviously was sitting
The
at the back
fastest
left.
thing to demobilize him, if you cannot get somebody to put a
Barricade.
speed breaker iron that they usually use for in front of him, is to shoot at the car.
Can I ask a question?
So
please?
the father is the person me I'm asking. His education exposed. Abi, what's the English you just
For me,
spoke? You
it's-
spoke
That
one
man is a
English.
madman.
It-
But I want to.
So
Can
what,
I
we
quickly
have
ask
to
a
go on a
question?
break.
How?
We have to go on a break. Let's this sink in a bit. We'll come back. We'll continue the conversation. Stay with us, Rebecca.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.